eventually.
Yeah, they just start thinking about it. Go out there and put it on them. The Niners were dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball and lost that game. The first 9 Kansas City possessions, 5 punts, 2 turnovers, 2 field goals. Like that, how do you lose that game?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing to me that Kansas City had, 15, 20 yards in the first quarter total, and the game scoreless. Like 120-something to 20, and you're in that position. Ultimately, you got nobody to blame but yourself. I look around the AFC, man. I don't know if it's changing anytime soon.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
No payments for 90 days and just $500 down can get you behind the wheel of a brand new Toyota. And with the help of Arlington's pre-approval program, that new Toyota will be sitting in your drive sooner than you think. Plus, every new Toyota comes with the peace of mind of Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today. Terms and conditions apply. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/new offers for details.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. And interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Florida residents, are you looking for a unique way to give back to seniors in your community? If so, the Florida Department of Elder Affairs needs you. The Department of Elder Affairs is recruiting volunteers to help foster an environment for seniors to thrive, grow, and engage within their communities. If you are interested in becoming a volunteer, please call 850-414-2143. Thank you for your dedication to serving seniors in your community. This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Live from the Anajar and Levine studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lee.
DC edge rusher Hassan Reddick dismissing a report that he requested a trade from Philadelphia. On X, Reddick posted he never asked for a trade but understands it's a business and is preparing for what's next. He would like to get an extension done with the Eagles. Reddick is entering the final year of his current contract. NBA crew chief Ed Malloy admits the foul call on the Knicks' Jalen Brunson last night was wrong, said the contact after the release of the ball was incidental, marginal to the three-point shot attempt by Houston's Aaron Holiday late in the game, should not have been called. He's right about that, says ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst.
This was an absolutely brutal call. And not only that, but it was great defense. Jalen Brunson played great defense there. He forced Aaron Holiday into only using one arm.
Exactly.
Because he did such good contesting of that shot. He did one arm.
Wichita police arrested 45-year-old Ricky Alderette in connection with the theft of a Jackie Robinson statue 6 weeks ago. They don't believe the crime was race-related. They say the motivation, selling that statue for scrap metal.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming on Wednesday. I'll tell you which players will have the biggest impact on next year's NFL season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
Ready? Yeah. Turn off your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome, friends. It's the Aaron Schachter Show, ESPN 690. Aaron Schachter with you till from 3 to 5. Yes, third person. We've gotten there. Day 2. That's all it takes. Fun day today after a wet one last night, although I did see someone here at the radio station has brought in backyard fruit. You guys have any backyard fruit? I've got a tree in my backyard that gives us, it either gives us lemons or it gives us yellow oranges. What are those? Meyer lemons, Meyer oranges, whatever those are called. I don't even know what fruit it is. The point is, the reason I don't know is because backyard fruit is always gross looking, isn't it? Always gross looking. Always the dirtiest, most dented fruit. Chances are it tastes just fine. All natural. Well, people bring it in because they can't possibly eat 87 oranges every couple of weeks. And then it goes untouched. Just sits there rotting in the break room because no one wants to touch a dirty, dented fruit. No fruit left behind, guys. Just saying, if you guys need any dirty, dented oranges or lemons, the radio station is where you want to be at today. Listen, lots going on. We got lots planned for the show today. Not all of it sports, by the way. Sure, we'll talk some sports. We'll talk some way too early predictions for the 2024 NFL calendar year, whether that be the draft, free agency, power rankings, which team is where, who's moving where. We got all that coming up. We'll also take a look at Victor Wembanyama's night. Pretty big one. How's that rookie campaign going? But we've also got some other stuff going on. How about some player beefs, some player drama, and not just NFL players. Some of that coming up. And then this wild story that I saw yesterday here in town. I guess some kids at a middle school got their hands on some gummies, and a bunch of them ended up in the hospital. So we'll talk about that coming up here in a second. But before we get anywhere like that, I do want to do a little segment called Headlines.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
That's right. These are the important stories that chances are we may not get to cover today. The reality is something I learned yesterday. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk to you guys about and not a lot of time to talk to you about it. So let's condense some of that, shall we? How about the first story of the day? Changes are coming in the wake of the chaotic Waste Management Phoenix Open. If you guys are longtime listeners to this day part, you may remember last year, I broke down a guy named Max Savage streaking at that tournament. It was a masterful streak, one of the best I had ever seen. The video's still up on social media if you want to go check it out. But the reality is this year was all that and then some. Streakers, puking in the galley, fights between golfers and fans, for real. All of that happened. The course literally had to shut down alcohol sales on Saturday just because it got way too crazy. Execs at the tournament met today. They're signaling big changes coming to the most fun golf tournament on the calendar, and they're bringing them soon. Story number 2. Modern-day Babe Ruth, Shohei Ohtani, returning to batting practice. He was taking some reps after having that UCL repair done to his elbow in the offseason. Classic Shohei fashion, man. The kid stepped up. 21 pitches he swung at. 10 of them he hit over the fence. 10 of them. I mean, clearly, 50% on the homer rate, a little lower than maybe we expect to see from Shohei Ohtani. But it was the first time Dodgers fans got to see that $700 million investment. And boy, does it look good. Story numero C. The Super Bowl has announced ridiculous viewership numbers for the game. Just massive, flat-out ridiculous numbers coming from the NFL. If you've been following along with this version of the game at home, you know last year's game topped out at 115 million. Record-breaking. This year, the NFL says 123.4 million people checked out the game on one of the many CBS-affiliated networks, whether it was CBS, Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon, if you were watching the Slime Time broadcast, and whatever other outlets they were showing the game on that are connected to CBS. Execs at CBS say Taylor Swift had a little bit to do with it, that her presence definitely helped. Feels like we should pump those brakes a little bit, though. The reality is the league's been breaking viewership records all year. Most watched Monday night game happened this year. Most watched Saturday night game. Most watched Thursday night game. Biggest audience for the NFC and the AFC championship games. And then, of course, the big game. The reality is we're getting very close to the Super Bowl becoming the most watched broadcast in all of history. The competition it faces, the Apollo 11 moon landing. The year was 1969, and an estimated 125 to 150 million people tuned in for that event. Back when there were just 3 channels on TV and bupkis else. Nothing else was going on. You didn't have a phone to stare at, nothing. 3 channels, that's how you got to 150. Now you got 1 billion channels and you're still getting to 150. Matter of fact, if the NFL continues this expansion into Europe, into South America, into Central America, you may well see 200 million before the end of the decade. Let's put that in context for a second. What does 200 million people look like? How about this? If the countries of Japan and the United Kingdom all decided to watch a soccer game that night instead of the Super Bowl would still win at 200 million people. It is entirely insane how big that number is, and the NFL is knocking on the door. Those are 3 big headlines for you today. That's the stuff we're not going to get to the rest of the show. We got more coming up right after the break, including Brian Middleton with his way too early predictions for the NFL calendar year 2024. Stay with us on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy and cooler today, but a lot of sunshine. The afternoon high in the mid-60s. Chilly one tonight. It'll drop into the 30s inland to the 40s at the beaches. And a partly sunny to mostly sunny Wednesday. Afternoon highs around 65. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Now through Valentine's, with any purchase, get a dinner at Fogo de Chão. Find out more at Beard's Diamonds.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjax.com.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Hey, boss, if you could have 3 wishes right now, what would they be?
Look, Sunshine, we're supposed to be casing the house here. Pay attention.
I'll go first. I wish for Lester Jackson to move to the Galapagos Islands. Oh, and he takes Safe Touch security with him.
If it was only that easy.
Yeah, imagine life as a crook without Safe Touch. Wouldn't have to worry about the two-way communicators, the rapid response time.
Don't they have lizards or something in the Galapagos?
Well, Safe Touch security has 5 layers of defense. 5!
You know, instead of bothering with a no more Safe Touch wish, just wish for $10 million.
You're no fun.
Very true. Now let's get back to reality and the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah, they're called marine iguanas, by the way.
I knew that.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson with Safe Touch Security System. No one beats our technology or our price.
Right now, get up to 50% off security packages during this once-a-year deal. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license EF2000195.
Hey, chocolate lovers, make someone's heart pop with love on Valentine's Day. Show your love with a bouquet of chocolate roses, chocolate-covered popcorn, or a box of decadent truffles. Peterbrook is also taking pre-orders for chocolate-covered strawberries. So get those orders in and get those hearts popping. 43 years.
That's more than 500 months.
And more than 15,000 days.
And it's also an anniversary that you can celebrate with American Window products.
Jacksonville's oldest locally owned replacement window and door company is celebrating 43 years in business by offering you up to $1,430 off your next window or door replacement.
Just schedule your free in-home estimate before March 31st.
Call 731-2247 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
American Window Products, the window professionals.
Pull. Put your team together for Operation New Uniform's Veterans Cup Clay Shoot on Friday, April 5th. This year's fundraiser will feature celebrity shooters, great food, prizes, and of course, bragging rights for the winners. Enjoy a day on the range and support Operation New Uniform's mission to empower transitioning service members, veterans, and military spouses find their new uniform in the business world. Go to onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org today.
Jasmine is Northeast Florida's only youth center for LGBTQ plus teens and young adults, and for nearly 29 years has worked to help the community be a more welcoming place for our young people, offering mental health programs, peer counseling, family time, HIV testing and prevention, and a front door to homeless youth. Jasmine continues to be the safe space our LGBTQ plus young people need as they navigate this tumultuous time in their lives. Although progress has been made, our work is still necessary to reach the ultimate goal, equality and human rights for all. Partner to support our LGBTQ plus teens and young adults. Visit jasmine.org today.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund Wine Tasting Gala is back, Thursday, February 29th. Join Coach Coughlin on the field at Everbank Stadium for culinary delights and hundreds of wines from around the world. For more information, visit tcjfund.org/wine.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the 3 numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, so you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance absolutely free at netsuite.com/company. That's netsuite.com/company to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/company.
Third Eye Blind is bringing the 4th edition of their Summer Gods Tour with Yellow Card in Arizona to ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena on July 26th. And ESPN 690 has tickets to the show. Visit the contest page at ESPN690.com and register for your chance to win.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. Wow. Almost had a little bit of ex-girlfriend syndrome there. Almost said the wrong name, Brian. Would you have been insulted?
I didn't know you were going with that.
If I said another radio host's name.
Who? Who are you going to say?
I don't even want to say, man.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Has that ever happened to you before? In real life? In real time?
Sure. There was a time I was doing commercials on one station, and I said my name was from the other station, and I didn't notice until someone texted me and said, that's not right.
No, man. Not the PG version. I'm talking about you ever been with a girl and you were like, hey, Susie, I mean, Rebecca.
I don't think so. It happens with your kids when you get older. That's for real.
Oh, does it?
Like when my little sister's in town, I'll call her by my oldest daughter's name and my oldest daughter by my little sister's name.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit weird. But it has to do with, like, what your intent is when you're talking to them. Like my wife, when yelling at the dog, will sometimes call the dog by our littlest girl's name because that's often who we're yelling at. And so I think it's just you get in the mode to yell at something or to say something to someone that's like something else, and you kind of mix those wires a little bit.
Okay.
But this is far off course, Brian. Yesterday, we spent a lot of time spiraling off course.
That's fair. But that's some of the best radio right there.
Spiraling off course? Well, I'll tell you who else was spiraling off course.
Who's that?
At least on the internet. I'm talking about Javarius Ward and Sauce Gardner. Did you see any of this beef they had going on with each other?
Yeah, I saw it, man.
I guess Sauce went out there after the Super Bowl on Twitter, on X, and he posted to X, I told y'all, the Niners might look better on paper, but the Chiefs always find a way. Now, as far as insults go, it feels fairly innocuous. Like, no big deal. MBD. What, you feeling it? You think it's a big deal?
No, make your point, man. Make your point.
I'm just saying, Javarius Ward followed up to Sauce Gardner with some pretty heavy criticism, which is, of course, slow to load right now. If I could just reload it real quickly. He basically told him, should I say the bad word? Boy, yo, bleep ain't never sniffed the playoffs. You're watching from the couch. Worry about the sorry bleep Jets. Hey, easy on the Jets now.
No big deal. All he did was state some
Don't need to kick them while they're down, though. Because everybody got something to say about the team in the Super Bowl. Your opinion doesn't need to be heard, kid. Now, right there, that's the slap in the face. Not only did he talk trash about Sauce never sniffing the playoffs, which, by the way, he's been in the league 2 years. Relax, Ward. Relax. Not only did he give him a hard time about not sniffing the playoffs, not only did he give him a hard time about watching from the couch as the best cornerback in football, but he told him, worry about your own sorry bleep Jets. You don't have to insult the whole franchise. It wasn't Robert Saleh and Woody Johnson coming at you. It was Sauce.
Yeah, but Sauce was very general in his X-tweet post as well.
Didn't even say anything bad.
He said 49ers. He said Chiefs. He didn't go at a particular guy or group. So, Ward was just reciprocating the energy that Sauce Gardner first extended. And honestly, from where I'm from, now see, Aaron, I thought you would be on board with this, but it sounds like you're not. It sounds like you're a bit biased right now because it's Sauce Gardner.
Throwing the flag. I'm a big fan of player beefs. Don't get me wrong. But this is a nothing burger, Brian.
Where I'm from, in North Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
Okay, you open up your mouth, okay? You're free to do that. It's America.
Okay.
You're free to open up your mouth and say most anything.
Okay.
Okay? But you're not free to tell the other person how to react at you. So if you come at somebody at a level 2 or nothing burger and they come at you and try to take you down like the Hindenburg, so be it. We there.
I'm okay with that.
We there. You know what I mean? I thought that was the up north thing, though, man.
Normally,
but apparently
I'm okay
not.
No,
apparently
right.
everything is,
Normally, I'm okay with it. If you ear flick someone, they come back with a AR-15. Okay.
Hey, clear the air.
Normally, it is what it is. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
You stepped in the ring. You got to deal with the consequence. But Sauce didn't even ask for the smoke.
He did.
He just said he even gave him a compliment. He told Javarius Ward and his friends on the 49ers, hey, you know what? You guys look pretty good on paper.
That is a backhanded compliment if I ever heard one.
Compliment. You guys have a ton of Pro Bowlers on this piece of paper over here.
I get Ward's frustration, and then you post this, and this guy is still trying to deal with the fact one more time that Kyle Shanahan apparently didn't tell the team the new overtime rules and said, Christian McCaffrey's out for the third quarter. And you want to post the Niners may look good on paper. I tell you what, man, Sauce Gardner, you got more problems to worry about. If he would have just said the Chiefs always find a way, that's a nothing burger. You want to add that little line in about the 49ers? You know who don't look good on paper? The New York Jets.
Oh!
That's what he should have said.
No.
That's what Ward should have said.
You're going to have Sauce Gardner tweeting at you now.
I mean, he can. Just a radio guy, though. You know what I mean? That would look petty.
Sauce will be like, I told y'all, Brian Middleton is a good producer on paper. Good producer on paper. Huffle always finds a way, though.
Inside. But ultimately, I'm with you. I'm cool with player beefs. These guys, it's not like one of these guys is a wide receiver and the other guys are DB so that
we're
they
not
could
gonna see
actually
it come.
face each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, they're on two of the more elite defenses in the NFL. So, really, both of these guys have a little bit of room to talk. But if I'm Ward, I'm on his side. Sauce, you did all this working out your entire life to get to the NFL. You played in all these games in the regular season. And you know what you were doing? You know what you were doing on February 11th with 300 million plus other Americans?
He was hosting a live stream. He was making some money.
Sitting down watching me. That's what you were doing. So shut it up. I get him. I get the frustration. I get the frustration, man.
Well, the Nothing Burger beef made me nostalgic for actual player beef because we've seen some good ones over the years. We have. We've seen some close to home and some not close to home. And then there are a bunch of beefs from back in the day where the beefs were less pronounced. Like there wasn't all that social media. There wasn't all this stuff informing you that the beefs were ongoing. There was a decorum. Players used to think they had to be polite to people. Like it was a real thing. Putting up a facade. The facade is long gone. Long gone now. Every thought ends up on social media for some of these guys.
It does, man. Someone needs to coach them out of that.
But there is some legendary beefs between not just players, but, managers, general managers.
Okay.
Oh, you're okay. I had to clear my throat.
All right. I didn't know if that was a hernia or what. Okay, I got you.
You don't like that noise, huh? It's a dad noise. You wake up as a dad, you make that noise.
I'll get there one day.
The listeners will never know. You're too young to remember Billy Martin, George Steinbrenner, right?
I mean, I know the names.
You know the names.
Yeah.
And Billy Martin, George Steinbrenner, an all-time sports beef, not necessarily a player beef. It was a manager, owner, but the owner was also kind of Jerry Jones-ish, general manager type. And it was never good. A couple of hirings and firings and in the paper every day. It was really ugly. But as far as player beefs go, do you have any that stick out in your head? I got a few that I really enjoy.
I have to think about that. Some player beefs that really have been going on. I tell you what, the Michael Crabtree, Richard Sherman, I don't know if you remember that.
I was just reversed in this the other day. I remember, and then I forgot about it, and then I saw it on social media because Sherm went off again, didn't he?
About something.
I think he was talking to Key. Yeah, he was talking to Keyshawn on the Drip Show, and I think they got into it a little bit. But, man, that was an ugly one, too. And Sherm kind of owned him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the worst.
On the field and off the field.
That's the worst when because I felt like someone tried to snatch Crabtree's chain, or they did, or something like that. And then going into that game, man, they were already yip-yapping. And Richard Sherman, I mean, he can talk. He can play and he can talk. And that's the worst feeling. That's the worst feeling when someone is trash-talking you and then they back it up.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't, for whatever reason. It may or may not even be your fault. It's the worst.
The worst.
But what about you? Who do you got on your list?
Well, you got, here's a player head coach beef, but same team, which is why it's so fascinating. This one comes from basketball. You remember Latrell Sprewell. Before Spree was not having the Knicks get to the playoffs and win championships, he was on the Warriors doing the same nonsense.
It was a struggle cornroll.
Oh, my goodness.
Latrell Sprewell?
It was, man. Yeah. I think it was PJ Carlissimo was his head coach. But Latrell got so hot at PJ one day in practice. My guy hemmed him up, 2 hands to the neck.
Yeah.
You're PJ Carlissimo. Chances are you're in your 50s or 60s. I don't know exactly how old he was. Maybe he's in his 50s. I don't think he was as old as his 60s.
To be fair, though, he has a strangleable neck. I'm just saying.
If you think so, you don't like PJ, huh?
But you know how people have a punchable face.
Oh, definitely.
I feel like he's the kind of coach where you just, like, keep pushing and pushing and.
Well, it felt like it kind of ruined something for Spree. Here was a guy who was talked about in the circles of maybe being one of the best in the league at one point, and he still was really good after they shipped him out. But it just was never the same for Latrell Sprewell. PJ Carlissimo, that thing was really, really embarrassing. What about John Rocker? You remember that name?
Pitcher?
Yeah, John Rocker pitched for the Braves. He was a very volatile setup guy. I don't think he ever closed for him. If he did, it was brief. But John Rocker, as he's about to play, I believe, the Mets in the playoffs, maybe it was during an interview in 1999, and he talks about taking the 7 train, which goes right to the old Shea Stadium, the new City Field. And he's talking about, I don't want to sit on the train with these degenerates and then other slurs for people, which now would get you in a lot of trouble. But I guess back then you could be in an article and everything's fine when you're calling people out by these slurs and names. But, man, did New York get mad at him. Another guy who is extremely got to be happy and thankful that social media didn't exist in 1999. 28 games he was suspended for those comments, Brian. A 28-game suspension.
For
comments in an article, slurs, derogatory words.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I have it's so vague now, but Brian, that's what happened.
Ja Morant didn't get suspended as long for waving a gun around on Instagram. My guy, John Rocker, not my guy. John Rocker got.
All right, well, hey, man.
28 games.
Appreciate you being up front.
Another player-coach beef, not as strangleable, but certainly a beef. Allen Iverson, AI, versus Larry Brown. Those two never really saw eye to eye on anything. One of my favorite player beefs involves Cortland Finnegan on the Tennessee Titans. Quite frankly, he fought with everybody he could find. Cortland Finnegan, in all time, like one of these guys who will grab you by the jersey when no one's looking, drag you down to the field, maybe throw a gut punch at you. So one of these guys who definitely called for all the trouble, all the smoke that he got.
Didn't he fight Andre Johnson?
It was Andre Johnson constantly.
But didn't Andre Johnson just school him? At some point,
Andre was a much bigger guy.
Yeah, he was.
Much bigger guy. And obviously, AFC South, once those teams got together in the conference, it was in the division, it was a much bigger deal. But, Finnegan wasn't terrible at what he did on the field in terms of his play. But he was no match for Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson's all yoked up as a wide receiver, like a thick dude. And he embarrassed him multiple times on the field. Multiple fist fights in full football regalia, helmets, pads, and they're still throwing hands. Never really understood that. I kind of like these fights like what Cam did. Cam went ahead and grabbed the dude by the face mask in his fight.
Oh, okay.
And he's just holding on. He's like, you want to hold face mask? Let's hold face mask. Let's go. That's fun because it's really demoralizing.
Hey, Aaron, I got a couple more right here. Because the basketball ones, especially that era, brought me back. And I don't know if you're done with your list, but Kobe and Shaq.
Kobe and Shaq had an interesting beef because it wasn't really a fight on the court, but they clearly hated each other.
There was a lot of snitching going on.
A lot of snitching. They really hated each other. And then Shaq did a song. It wasn't a real song. It wasn't produced in the studio. Do you remember this song? He's up on stage in Vegas.
This is when they won the championship, right?
Yes.
With Miami? Yeah, I remember it. You going to reenact that?
I will not.
You sure? Okay. You can YouTube it, kids. Well, not kids.
I will not.
But it's not kid-friendly.
Not kid-friendly, but that was a rough one. It was a rough look for Shaq, but a rough beat for Kobe because Kobe couldn't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite honest, no Kobe besmirchment here. He's one of the best all time. But you can't tell me he's winning those rings without Shaq.
Oh, no, not those early ones, absolutely not.
So you're sitting here going.
But, in the same breath, yeah, Shaq was older. So he was hitting his prime before Kobe was hitting his prime. I don't know if Shaq is winning those without Kobe. If you go back and watch those games, I mean, granted, once they got to the finals, but I don't know if they're getting out of the Western Conference during those championship runs with the Kings, with the Trailblazers. There's some really good squads there. But, yeah, the beef, the fact that they were so toxic at times and still able to get to the championship, to the finals, even though, they lost in that one against Detroit. I mean, I guess that's a testament to their greatness. But, man, I got to be real with you. That was a great and awkward beef at the same time. Another one I got for you, Aaron Schachter, Barry Bonds and drug testing. That was an amazing.
Big
you
beef.
Hear me feud. Y'all hear me? That man was hitting home runs every day.
Big beef.
And I'm talking about his head. You remember Fat Heads? You remember those Fat Head posters?
Sure, yeah.
And they didn't have to do anything extra. They just took a snapshot of Barry Bonds at the time.
His real head.
And just right there.
Yeah, real head.
It was a feud.
I'd get a fat head of Robin Ventura and then a real head of Barry Bonds. I get it. I'm there. You mentioned the Niners and how Christian McCaffrey might have a beef with them for not using him in the third.
Yeah.
Or who else would have a beef you were saying? Oh. Maybe it was Ward for not knowing the overtime rules. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you who's got a legitimate beef right now with the Niners as well.
Who?
Brandon Ayuk. Have you seen what this dude has been on social media doing?
Okay.
So apparently Monday, the day after losing to the Chiefs in overtime in the Super Bowl, Ayuk went on social media and wanted to express that displeasure with the 49ers and how they used him in that game. Did you notice they only 3 completions to him? No, it didn't strike you. So he posted in stories a picture of himself.
Boy.
Don't forget what got you there. Don't forget what got you
that's
there.
Petty. That's petty. Okay.
I'm just saying.
He
Christian
posted
McCaffrey.
that. Brandon Ayuk posted that?
Yes.
It wasn't a family member.
No. Although the family members did come in there. But Christian McCaffrey scored 39 touchdowns in 33 games for the Niners over the last 2 years. And Brandon Ayuk's like, hey, don't forget who brought you.
That is you said family members came in and
his
did
brother came onto his defense, and he tweeted a picture out of what Ayuk did, and then he goes, this is the exact reason why we're leaving San Francisco.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
He goes, thank you, 49ers, for drafting my brother. We are forever grateful. BA to Vegas. Why does your all-pro 1,300-yard receiver have 3 catches in the Super Bowl?
What is happening?
They're not happy.
What is happening? If you're in the NFL, basically you should cut off your family members. After Patrick Mahomes, and we said that yesterday, and now Brandon Ayuk, who cleared that?
You could say that.
He cleared that. He definitely cleared that. Brandon Ayuk cleared that too.
I think Brandon called up Stephon Diggs, and he's like, is it cool? Can I have my brother jump in here? And Stephon's like, absolutely.
But Stephon, that's not fair because his brother is actually playing in the league.
Still jumped in.
I mean, you can jump in if you're playing
his.
in the league. This is okay. Let me back up.
We weren't done yet before you back up.
Yeah,
because after his brother chimed in,
there's more.
Then Ayuk's girlfriend went on TikTok to vent.
Okay.
She goes, this might be the last day we touch foot on Levi Stadium because we might not be out here next season.
We? You ain't even get the last name yet. We?
Team Ayuk.
We? All right. Now, see, you going to let somebody mess up your bag. But I'm going to say this. Were there any more family members or family member adjacent people?
You need more?
I don't know. I was about to start, and you were like, hey, before Brandon
Ayuk's going to 23andMe, looking up his family tree, going, hey, are you busy right now? Can you please get on Twitter and talk smack to the 49ers for me?
Social media is going to be the death of people. So, okay. Brandon Ayuk, great fantasy player, not just this season, last season as well. I know that because I've skipped over him 2 seasons in a row. And I was like, man, I really shouldn't do that.
Regretted it.
But listen, Christian McCaffrey, like you said, Deebo Samuel when his hamstrings are employed.
George Kittle.
And Brandon, then we get to you, Brandon Ayuk. And honestly, I get it. You can switch that around with Kittle. Maybe he's the third option. He showed up this season. He had a lot of great stats. I don't begrudge him that. But does he think that he's going to go to a better situation? It amazes me sometimes, right? As someone who will never actually experience what those players are experiencing, but from the outside looking in, players think that they're in a great situation, right? But there could be something better because of the stats that they have with their current team. Meaning, when you have all these other pieces around you, a defense can't just focus on you, Brandon Ayuk, and you might be that guy, but when I got to worry about Deebo and when I got to worry about Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle is running a post drag somewhere, you're on single coverage, and you can beat my third DB. I'm not saying that you're trash. I think that you're, in fact, pretty good. But you can go to Vegas if you want to, or you can go to the Texans if you want to. I'm not, knocking the Texans or the Raiders. You can go to another situation, but all of these pieces around you are part of the reason why you're putting up the numbers that you were able to put up and why you were open in certain ways. So for you to turn around and do this and put this out here, you're only messing up your money. You're only messing up your money when you do something like this.
Here's what I think he's going through, though, because everyone's quick to point out Brandon Ayuk coming up on a contract negotiation. And so he's obviously stressed right now. He's like, hey, I am way underpaid. And if you want to know what that number is for Brandon Ayuk, 1,300 yards. He's entering the final year of his deal. This year, his base salary was $2.3 million. Now, next year, this is, I believe, his 5th-year option. It's $14 million. $14 million on the base. It's also what it is for the cap hit. He's not getting a bonus this year. But the man has never really made more than 7 his rookie year on a big bonus. No, that was, let's see, which Yeah, he's never really made a base salary of more than $2.5 million. So he wants to get the bag. And, Brian, I think he's looking at the San Francisco 49ers with all those guys he just named. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. He's looking as a 1,300-yard receiver when he's kind of the fourth option. I know he had more receiving yards than Deebo, but Deebo's more a part of that offense than Ayuk is. Certainly gets looked at more. And so I think Ayuk is freaking out. You say, does he think he's getting to a better situation? I think he does. Now, maybe he doesn't get to a better team, Brian.
Financially, you mean? That's what you're saying?
Financially and playing. Like, no. This dude can go to the Jets and end up with way more targets and more yards.
I see what you did. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hey, if you've been a listener for the past year or so, and some change, you know Aaron Schachter is a Jets fan at heart. Okay.
I'm just giving an example. It doesn't have to be the Jets. It can be the Jags.
I'm familiar with your game.
Bring him to the Jaguars, Brendan Ayuk. Welcome to Jacksonville.
This feels very Tyreek Hill, Kevin Durant, and he's not on those levels of those players. You're in a situation where it's not going to get any better. Now, financially, it may get a lot better. And if that's your priority, by all means, I'm with you. I don't mind somebody saying, hey, I'm going to go to a worse team if I can set myself up with double the money or triple the money because they're going to pay me because they have it to pay me, and I'll just deal with the losing, or I'll deal with the fact that I may not get a championship, but my family is set up for the next 7 generations. I'm with that. But I don't think that that's just the mindset. I think that if you really are looking at your stats, again, Brandon Ayuk, great stats, but you are the fourth, maybe third option, and you have these elite players around you that are taking attention away. What happens when you're wide receiver 1?
That's what he wants. He wants the focus. He wants the $20 million payday. He wants the focus. Send him to a team where they could use him. I think he might find more personal success that way, but you're right.
We'll post about it then.
Will he be on a better team? Chances are he will not. I got one more story to bring you before we hit the break.
His girlfriend.
That's kind of a...
That's wild. You got to tell her to knock it off, though. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry.
She's gonna hurt the paycheck. I got one more story that's not necessarily a player beef, but it is a drama. And it's not a current player, it's a former player. But I thought it fit into this category, and quite frankly, I thought it was one of the funnier stories I saw. So Super Bowl weekend brings out all the stars, all the celebrities. If you watch the Super Bowl, you saw Taylor Swift in the press box. She had a friend with her. That friend, Ice Spice. Ice Spice, Taylor Swift, the whole gang was out partying. And I guess Shaquille O'Neal tried to shoot his shot.
Yeah, he did.
Shaquille O'Neal had a run-in with Taylor Swift where he's giving her some glitter-encrusted bag. I don't really understand how all these rich people get all this free stuff when they got the money to buy the stuff, but fine. He's giving her some bag for a designer friend. And then he looks at Ice Spice in the post, and he goes, Ice Spice is so damn fine. Thanks, Taylor Swift. He's clearly trying to get Ice Spice's attention. Here's the problem. Shaq's over 50.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to age shame around here.
Shaq is over 50.
We're not going to age shame Shaquille O'Neal at this program.
51 years old, Brian.
Okay, Shaquille O'Neal has worked to make himself Shaquille O'Neal, okay?
Accurate.
And if he wants to add some Ice Spice to his mix, if he wants to season himself with some Ice Spice, so be it, if he can pull it off.
Let me ask you this. How old was Ice Spice when Shaq
-5
was Ice Spice's age?
Ice Spice's parents had not met yet. Ice Spice's parents were in elementary school.
That's all I'm saying.
Because I think she might be 20. I'm not even sure how old she is.
She's 24 years old.
24 years old. But Aaron,
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying you're talking about a situation where Shaq at Ice Spice's age, Ice Spice was -3 years old.
Aaron, we see this all the time, man. Rich older
Jones?
men being able to pull ladies who may not have been born in the same century as them. I tell you what, I'm scrolling through the link, the article that you sent me.
Yeah.
And I got to be real with you. I was unfamiliar with Ice Spice's game as well.
Stop it.
There's a picture that's flattering to Ice Spice, and I was
Brian Middleton getting a wake-up call today.
I was unfamiliar with. I don't know if you're arching hard, but that's an amazing. I understand Shaquille O'Neal. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I condone it. I say I understand.
No. Let's pause. Nobody faults Shaquille for his
it sounds like you're
admiration.
It sounds like you're shooting bullets at him.
The admiration is fine. Expected almost.
Okay.
I mean, the reality is she's an attractive lady. Shaq, you're 51.
We disagree.
Your kids are going to be her age soon. You can't do that.
You absolutely can't do that.
Who you are, how rich you are. And look, it's not illegal or whatever, right? If Ice Spice is into it, Shaq is into it, God bless him, Consensual relationship, go have fun. But we're not going to pretend like it's not gross. What are you talking about? What are you at 51 talking about with Ice Spice at 24?
He said he's not talking. He said he's not talking. Get in the car, get in the house, get on the plane. Let's go to the, let's go to the island, get on the yacht. All this talking.
You might as well tell her that you're hard of hearing and you need to use sign language because you got nothing to talk about.
Hey, listen, man. He understands what it's like to be famous at a young age at 24 years old. That's one piece right there that you can talk about. Mentor, mentee.
If you text on the phone with your pointer finger, you got no business talking to Ice Spice.
What's your pointer finger?
Okay? You got no business.
That's a great joke, by the way.
I'm just saying.
You should take that on the road.
If you leave, thank you. If you leave your keyboard and you type BRB to somebody, you got no business talking to Ice Spice. Zero business.
I mean, listen, you say that, but I'm going to be like,
you're hitting her
Shaq,
up
go
right now?
for it. Because one day I want to be 51 years old. And if I ain't married with a family, I want to be able to pull a 24-year-old too. Here's the deal, though. I looked up these stats, and so Shaquille O'Neal coming in at 7'2", 330 pounds.
I think they're being generous, by the way. I think he's probably a little heavier than that in his retirement.
Ice Spice is 5'3". Now, I ain't got no weight on her, but Ice Spice is 5'3". That's the part that might be more awkward than anything else.
The whole thing is awkward.
No, man.
Ice Spice is going to take her home to meet Dad, who's younger than Shaq.
And Dad will be like, good job, daughter. This is one of my basketball idols.
Be a fan. You'd be like, oh, my God, can I have your
You know what I mean? Let's take
please?
a picture right now. When's the wedding?
When's the wedding? Date 1. When's the wedding? My daughter, Ice Spice, would love to wed you. Okay.
But honestly, one more time, that link to that article.
I did you a service today.
I did not know. I was just scrolling and reading. Oh, boy.
I did a good deed.
You did, man.
I opened your eyes. I woke you up.
You did.
I red-pilled you or blue-pilled you. I don't know which pill it is. But you took one of them, and you woke up.
Might have took both of them from that picture.
If you guys want to see what Brian Middleton is talking about, I suggest you head over to TMZ Sports section. The story's close to the top. Fun time with Shaq and Ice Spice.
What'd you say if you text with your pointer finger?
If you text with your pointer finger, if you're like this, you got no business talking to Ice Spice. Just saying.
If you were Shaq, though, and you saw something that you liked,
I would show my admiration, but I would hope that I'd already be locked in.
Okay. I get it, man. And listen, you're a happily married man. You can be real if you wanted to right now.
Just saying, as someone who's closer to 50 than I am to 30, I can tell you I got no desire to go out on a date. Unfortunately, not even with my own wife. Unfortunately for her, because she's very upset about that. I just want to be home. And like Shaq, I get it. He's got the life. He's rich. He's famous. But also, it's time to start planning the exit ramp. Leave Ice Spice alone. Leave her to the other young fellas.
So you hate dating your wife post-marriage?
I just
want to make sure I understand what we're saying.
I love dating my wife. I just don't like going on the date, is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
We're off topic again, Brian.
All right, man. The people love it.
When we come back, we're going to check in on Victor Wembanyama because my guy has gone off again. And I think you want to talk about it with us. We'll be back on the Aaron Schachter Show, 3 to 5 today on ESPN 690. Give us a call, 904-362-9901. 904-362-9901, or check us out on all the social medias. Back after this.
Here we grow again. Terry Norvell here from the Young and Norvell Show, announcing our new expanded hours as we are now on weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's right. You now have a standing lunch date with me and my broadcast partner, former Gators basketball star and current SEC network analyst Patrick Young, every weekday for 2 solid hours from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690. You supply the lunch. We provide the most compelling sports talk in town. Find out for yourself weekdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Catch the Young and Norvell Show on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine. I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine.
If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Jacksonville.
43 years.
That's more than 500 months.
And more than 15,000 days.
And it's also an anniversary that you can celebrate with American Window products.
Jacksonville's oldest locally owned replacement window and door company is celebrating 43 years in business by offering you up to $1,430 off your next window or door replacement.
Just schedule your free in-home estimate before March 31st.
Call 731-2247 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
American Window Products, the window professionals.
The Bulls are back in town and taking over Jacksonville. Get ready for bull bucking mayhem at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville is bringing the city 2 nights of bull riding action, featuring the most electric 8 seconds in sports. Come see the toughest sport on dirt at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off and interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
My name is Kevin Copeland with The Players. The Players is honored to support Edward Waters Athletics and help the Tigers become champions on and off the court. It's just 28 days until the Players' Championship.
Third Eye Blind is bringing the 4th edition of their Summer Gods Tour with Yellow Card in Arizona to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena on July 26th. And ESPN 690 has tickets to the show. Visit the contest page at ESPN690.com and register for your chance to win.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, ESPN 690. Give us a call to join in on the fun, 904-362-9901. Shout out to Glenn or Clint, whichever name you're going by these days. Kind of makes me think you're hiding from somebody. But I see you in the chat there. I'm sorry I can't respond to your Twitter responses, but he had some suggestions about beefs. We were talking about earlier player beefs and organizational beefs. He said Bobby Knight had a beef with everybody. I mean, specifically chairs and basketballs. But yeah, I think Bobby Knight also one of those guys who got in trouble for choking out one of his own players. Him and I think Mike Leach also did that once, didn't he? Gone but not forgotten, Mike Leach. We also have Piazza and Clemens. That was a big, fun beef only because it was like a heartbeat. Like it didn't take long. And also, by the way, it was pretty roid ragey. I don't know if you remember this one, Brian, but basically Piazza versus Clemens. Clemens, Piazza swings at a ball, breaks a bat.
Okay, I remember.
The bat flies at Clemens. Clemens picks up this bat and roids out. He's like, throws the bat at Piazza, and Piazza's like, what is going on right here? Just a real traditional red ass Clemens was. Oh, my God. How about, I don't want to read that one. He also had some suggestions about who might disagree with or my philosophy on who should pair up with who.
Oh, really? Like who?
We'll just leave that one alone.
You sure?
That's fine.
Give me some clues. Maybe I can guess.
It's day 2, Brian. I'd like to make it at least to the end of the week. Thank you. You texted me this morning. You gave me the heads up. Hey, Vic went off last night.
Yeah, he did.
Boy, did he have a game. 22 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. And, 10 blocks. 10 blocks. The human eraser. The French phenom. The baguette baller. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
The player from Paris. Next time I'll come with a bigger list. I'm just going off the top of the dome right now.
Bars, man.
Bars.
I can't imagine getting on NBA 2K with Victor Wembanyama, okay, at the lowest difficulty and getting 10 blocks as a part of a triple-double. I can't imagine doing this on a video game. Aaron Schachter, I'm telling you right now, and it's not breaking news, but this season and next season are the 2 seasons to get him until he's like a season away from retirement. This season and next season, if you're going to get the Spurs and Victor Wemby, it's going to be the rest of this season and next season, because by year 3, nobody's going to be able to do anything with him either side of the ball.
I think it happens way before that.
You think so?
I think we're halfway through next season, and he's just ridiculously unstoppable. He needs to put on a little bit of weight. He looks like Durant when Durant came into the league. He's just wiry and stringy. You're not going to have a long career in the NBA weighing 150 pounds, being 7'11". It's just you're going to have knee issues. The whole thing is not going to back issues. He's got to put on a little bit of muscle, carry that frame around, and body some of these bigger dudes, because that's some of the other problem is that even though Wemby is, 7'2", 7'4", something like that?
I believe it's, I thought it was 7'5".
7'5", whatever he is, he's getting pushed around by some bigger power forwards right now, because a lot of those dudes are outweighing him. And granted, he's a young cat. He's got to get bigger. But 27, 14, 10, and 5 is a huge stat line. Oh, by the way, the most impressive part, he did it in under 30 minutes, Brian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Under 30, he did it 29 minutes. Imagine when he finally gets the stamina to play the whole game. The human eraser. Watching this guy block a shot is ridiculous. You'll have a dude shooting on the perimeter. 3-point shot. Wemby's at the key. Top of the key. He's not even jumping that high. He's just putting his arm up. Wingspan of 11,000 feet.
He's like, let me get that, please. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, once again, this kid, man, he just turned 20 last month, and I can't foresee any of the guys in the league, right? Because there's a lot of great young players there. SGA, Luka. I mean, you can just keep on going down the list.
Joker, sure.
Yeah, guys that are established, Joker, Embiid. Even the older heads, when you talk about Steph and LeBron, who you theoretically, you think LeBron's going to be out the league. Golly.
2 years, a year.
You got to think,
I think he's just waiting out his son at this point.
But even someone like Steph, I mean, I don't see him playing till 40. I think he could, but I don't see him doing that.
Certainly easier for him because he doesn't bang around the body, but the reality is I just don't think it's happening.
But outside of what's the kid at OKC, Chet Holmgren, who's like 7'1", same build, basically, just like 3 or 4 inches shorter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you do with that? What do you do with someone 7'4" who can handle the ball, who, yes, is getting pushed around right now, half a season into his rookie year, but is with the training staff and is with, Greg Popovich, who I know San Antonio, they've had down years, but this is about as good a situation, I think, as a young future great player could be in with a guy like Pop, who is going to make sure that we do things the right way. We're not going to push you beyond your limits. We're going to bring you along as your greatness will allow. I mean, who else is going to be able to deal with him one-on-one? And when that really clicks, like you were talking about, where he's not getting pushed around, another, 20 pounds? I don't know. He's probably, like 215, 220 right now. If he can get up to 235, it is incredible. 10 blocks, 14 rebounds, and the 14 rebounds is old hat to him. It's not like that's a non-average number for him. No, he's 14, 13, 12, 11, maybe an 8 or 9 rebound game here or there. This kid is going to be, if he's injury-free, I'll say it right now, he'll be a top 5 player of all time.
Wemby's 209 pounds right now.
Yeah, so he needs
now you're going up against adult bodies as a center.
But, they say the same thing about KD, and I know he grew a little bit more, but, KD didn't get overly big.
But KD's not like a low post guy. He's always been a perimeter big.
That's fair.
He plays small forward at 6'11".
That's fair.
Like Wemby, as much as he can play the perimeter, and he can shoot. He can move laterally. He's 7'5". He's going to be down in the middle, at least on defense.
What's the last player this young that made you feel like this? I know there was comparisons to LeBron.
Certainly LeBron, right? Like magical. From the second he got on the court, and it was weird because before LeBron was LeBron, Felipe Lopez was LeBron. Felipe Lopez was coming out of high school when I was coming out of high school.
Okay.
Out of, I think it was like Rice High School in New York or something. But he was anointed. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a high school senior, and they were calling him the next Jordan.
Wow.
And he goes, yeah. No, that's hot. It's huge pressure. And so he goes to St. John's, I think for a year, Felipe Lopez, if he went at all. And he was never really much in the NBA. He was like a journeyman. It just never came together for him. And I don't know if it was a pressure thing or what. So then when guys like, I don't know, Garnett skipped college and went to the NBA. Guys like Kobe skipped college, went to the NBA. Guys like LeBron skipped college, went to the NBA. You were like, all right, I've heard this before. I've seen it. But no, those guys actually showed improved. I'm not sure. You don't really find too many guys with this kind of hype until they get on the floor these days in the NBA, just because there's so much talent in the league. It's one thing to dominate in high school. It's one thing to even be really good in college. It's another thing to get to the league and continue that going. And I don't think you've seen it as much.
And again, to do that, coming in at 19, coming in as a teenager, to do that, what you're doing right now, like we've seen other number one picks or lottery picks or, rookie guys. You're like, all right, we see what it could be. I hate to go back to the Steph comparison because Steph went to college and, but even early on in Steph's career, it didn't look like it was going to be what it is right now. He couldn't stay on the field. On the field. He couldn't stay on the court. Ankle said, nah, we good today. We good for this 3-game road trip. We going to sit down. Hey, you look at someone like Giannis. Giannis came into the league with not the fanfare, at all.
But as a grown man body.
Yeah. I guess Luka, had a little bit of, hey, man, we really think this kid's going to be something, but not
to this level, no.
I don't – the pressure, that's a good point. The pressure that you have coming into the league.
As a child.
And the number one overall pick, and as a professional now, even though he was professional over there in Europe, I'm uber impressed. I'll call it right now, man. I think he's a top 5 player if he doesn't get injured.
The 10-block triple-double last happened 3 years ago. You had Clint Capella. Yeah, David Robinson do it 9 times for the Spurs. 9 times. It's pretty impressive. Dikembe Mutombo did it 10 times.
A lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of greats.
With the Nuggets.
Yeah.
The record holder for triple-doubles with blocks is the Dream. Hakeem Olajuwon did 11 times for the Rockets.
Amazing company to be in. Amazing company to be in. David Robinson, Hakeem, Dikembe. Okay.
And I think when it's all said and done, he's going to pass all of them in almost every category. Except for championships, because you just don't know how that plays out. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Aaron Schachter and Brian Middleton with you guys up until 5 o'clock. You want to join in on the action? 904-362-9901. 904-362-9901. Brian, where are we going after the break? Looks like we're doing some way too early NFL predictions.
Sounds right.
You got a couple of questions for me?
Yeah.
Might even have some Jaguars-related player news or adjacent player news. Not real news, but speculation. And some more stuff right here. Join the fun. Stick around right here on ESPN 690.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-803-5505 to speak to an expert. That's 800-803-5505.
O'Reilly! You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Psst, hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though.
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Live from the Anajar and Levine studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733. I'm Christine Lisi. Philly pass rusher Hassan Reddick took to social media to give his side about that report where he requested a trade from the Eagles. He posted on X today he never asked for a trade but does understand it is a business and is preparing for what's next. Reddick is entering the final year of his current deal with the Eagles. An admission from crew chief Ed Malloy that last night's foul call on the Knicks' Jalen Brunson was wrong, said the contact occurred after Houston's Aaron Holiday released the ball on his three-point attempt late in the fourth quarter. Knicks wound up losing that game, and it might cost them dearly in playoff seeding, warns ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
The number 2 seed is so important because you don't want to face the Boston Celtics into the conference finals. Getting that number 2 seed, and the Knicks are knocking at the door. And this game right here that was determined by a wrong call by the officials could hunt them down the line.
Big Perk on First Take. Knicks currently in a tight race with the Cavs, Bucks, and Sixers for that 2 seed in the East. Spencer Dinwiddie set to make his Lakers debut tonight against the Pistons.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, I'll tell you which players will have the biggest impact on next year's NFL season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn off your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
What up? It's the Aaron Schachter Show, ESPN 690. Welcome back to it. Joining on the fun, 904-362-9901. Brian, I'm struggling today, man. A lot of pollen in the air.
I hear it, man.
You hear it in my throat a little bit.
Get some Xanax.
I just need to clear it out a little bit. Don't mind me.
That's a wild.
There we go.
That's a wild move right there, man.
Just bringing everybody in behind the scenes is all.
Did you gargle?
Tried to.
All right.
Almost drowned. It's for the show. It's a bit. What I call the ambulance. It would have been great on the live stream. Be the first radio broadcaster to drown live on the air in a studio.
With someone there that could potentially help.
You shouldn't, though. You got to run the show.
So,
look, we got to prioritize, Brian. You see me drowning from a little bit of a funny bit gargle.
Mm-hmm.
You can't save me. You just got to call 911 and let it happen. You did your part.
I don't know if a jury of my peers would say the same thing.
Well, I am on record right now saying the next time I try and gargle water on the air and it almost goes down the wrong pipe, I consent to Brian running the show. Priorities. We were talking a little bit about you don't like that transition.
No, I love the pregnant pause that you do. It's just a stop and everybody's just like, well, I guess
that's
the conversation.
The end of that. Moving on.
Okay.
We were talking earlier today about way too early NFL predictions because I guess you have some questions you want to pose to me, and then I've got a bunch of different headlines and news stories about what's to come in the offseason. But before we get to yours, I just want to say first and foremost, I did see that the scuttlebutt, the rumor, the new hotness around T. Higgins, who a lot of Jags fans have already just put on this team, is that the Bengals plan to tag T. Higgins to the tune of $20.7 million.
What? Ew. Tell him to bring me my money.
So you got to imagine if the Jags end up having to use the tag on Josh Allen, they wouldn't be able to use the tag on Calvin Ridley. Not that they even want to at $20.7 million. Maybe they do. I just don't know. But the reality is it's unlikely. So T. Higgins likely to stay.
I love the nickname already. T, when you come down here,
Tiggins is the name.
Yeah.
For $20.7 million, likely to stay in Cincinnati. And the Jaguars are back to the drawing board and finding another piece for that wide receiver crew. But what else do you see happening this offseason, Brian? Or what else are you curious about?
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Hey, way too early preseason predictions, man. I got to get back in the mood, man. So I got a little bit of our
Vibe it up, bro.
NFL music right here.
Get it.
Aaron Schachter, a couple of things have been swimming around in my head with these preseason predictions. I'm going to pose it to you, then I'll tell you my thoughts.
All right.
First one. The Kansas City Chiefs will three-peat as champions next year.
Here's the problem with saying absolutely not, which is my first instinct.
There you go.
They win all the time, even when they don't. Offense looked like a mess all year. It looked like Pat Mahomes didn't have anyone to throw to outside of Travis Kelce. The offensive line was starting to fall apart. They lost 30 right before the Super Bowl. Creed Humphrey couldn't hit Pat Mahomes with a snap. They still end up winning. They're still unstoppable in the second half. Andy Reid is still the head coach. And by the way, he says he's coming back next year, and so does old man Kelce. Might even have a new ring on his finger. You never know. Might be a little motivation. Where it stands right now, I don't care how bad they are next year. I don't care how good or how bad. I don't care what the record is. If they make the playoffs, and I believe they will, I think the Chiefs are in line with three-peat.
Wow. All right, next up. Here we go. Coming to the Jags real quick. GM Trent Baalke will take accountability for how the Jags look, even if it's bad, by the end of next season. He will actually take accountability. If you remember his press conference, that was one issue that a lot of people had. He seemed to be passing the buck, even though he said the buck stops here. So do you think accountability finds Trent Baalke by the end of next season?
Not to the fans. Like, this may happen behind closed doors and we don't get to hear it. But if we get to the point where Trent Baalke has to take accountability for something that happened for the fans, he's probably out of here anyway. If we go into next season not doing what we need to do at the offensive line, not doing what we need to do on that defensive line, not doing what we need to do at the wide receiver core, not doing what we need to do to help the team on third and short, chances are he's not doing the I'm sorry to the fans. He's doing the, hey, have you seen my cover letter lately?
All right. Next one. Now, you've heard of Usher, right?
Usher, of course.
Usher. Okay, here we go.
I've heard of Usher. What's wrong with you?
Well, listen, man. Some people, I don't know what you listened to 20 years ago. Usher was
shots fired.
Seemingly the cause of a breakup with Keke Palmer and her man at the time, about 3 or 4 months ago. It was towards the end of 2023. Okay, so here is my ask of you. Usher Raymond will be the reason at least one more celebrity couple breaks up because he can't keep his hands to himself when he's performing. See Alicia Keys, see Swiss Beats.
So, just to clarify,
he's going to break somebody up because he's filling up on the woman.
And you think it's Alicia Keys specifically because of the halftime show? I'll say this because it got me thinking the other day.
Yeah.
If you're Swiss Beats, shout out to Swizzy, by the way. Shout out to Swizzy and DJ Kobe Kane, his best bud. But if you know Swiss Beats, or if you are Swiss Beats and you're watching that, you are feeling the pressure to say or do something because the whole world's looking at you. And so he went on social media. He was like, you guys are just being silly. No beef here. By the way, my album comes out next week or something like that.
Nobody believes you. You need more people. So you're saying no.
No, I think Usher, who, by the way, got married Super Bowl weekend.
That don't mean nothing, man.
All right, we see where you stand on that. Usher, who got married, will not be breaking anybody else up. Outside of their own desire to love Usher, he's not going to be instrumental in the breakup.
Next up, man, the Jacksonville Jaguars will finally get to 10 wins in a season under Doug Peterson.
Yeah, I buy this.
Hey.
I buy next year, this is an 11-plus win team. I know it's hard to be optimistic right now after what we just watched, but the reality was I thought they were there almost before this season started. And so if you are going to improve on what we saw last year, which is basically adding anybody to the roster because you went in with the same team last year, then chances are you're getting there. I have faith. I believe Doug and the boys will pull it out this year.
Okay. Here goes one closer to home right here. Aaron Rodgers, Jets QB, will make it to at least the second game of the season as the uninjured starting QB of the New York Jets. He will be healthy going into the second game of the regular season for the New York Jets.
Not buying it.
There you go.
Not buying it.
There you go.
I think
That's what we like to hear.
This past season, Aaron Rodgers got hurt on the 4th play of the season. If you know the Jets, you know the curse of the franchise, then you know Rodgers likely doesn't make it out of the preseason. And then that's all she wrote. And Aaron will take home $100 million in that guaranteed money he's already cashed in. Having never played a full series for the Jets will be back at square one with no option at quarterback. They sure have Randall Cobb on the team. And Alan Lazard, the Lazard King. They sure brought that dude in. Nathaniel Hackett is the offensive coordinator, but Aaron Rodgers, I don't think will be anywhere to be seen come week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 17. Ain't gonna happen.
That's great. Final one, Aaron Schachter. Trevor Lawrence will finish in the top 5 for NFL MVP voting.
I do think Trev's gonna have a good year, but top 5, you're talking some pretty stiff competition now.
Yeah, man.
You've got a lot of heavy hitters in the AFC.
Absolutely.
But the NFC as well, especially at the quarterback position. So I have to see a full season from Trev before I go all in on the MVP talk.
So no.
Not next year.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean he can't have.
Wow.
Doesn't mean he can't have 4,000 plus yards. He can't have 30 plus touchdowns. He can't have less than 10 interceptions.
Okay.
I just don't know that wins you the MVP anymore.
Well, Trev, you know who has your back on this show right here.
Yeah.
You know who does have your
You
back.
think he's winning the MVP next year? All right, you're a hopeful.
I just think he'll finish in the top 5. I think it's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
That's,
that's fine. I'll take possibility. You're saying there's a
nah,
chance.
Nah, you
I thought
said
you meant,
there's no way. You
I
basically
thought
said
you were
no
asking
way.
if he was going to win.
No, you basically said there's no way, Aaron, and that's okay, man. Like you stand on business about this.
Well, not necessarily on this, but okay, you want to phrase it that way. That's fine.
You basically said Trevor should be looking for a new home. He shouldn't be the quarterback for the Jags. That's how you feel about things. It's unfortunate, man.
I want to roll some trades past you that could really shake up the NFL offseason.
Okay.
And by the way, speaking of trades, we didn't mention in the player beefs section of the show, you got a beef brewing in Philadelphia. Did you see any of this news today? Hassan Reddick and the Eagles don't seem to be on the same page. I guess the Eagles had put out a report that they've let Hassan Reddick know that he can go shop for a trade if he wants one.
Sorry.
But
yeah,
Hassan Reddick went on social media. He's like, I didn't ask for a trade. I don't want to go. Why are you guys pushing me out? And so this could actually be a pretty big piece to move. Obviously, Hassan Reddick's not necessarily a spring chicken, but the dude still balls like crazy. And the reality is, Eagles are a good team with young guys on that defense. Hell, they got half the Georgia roster on there.
Yeah, that's true.
But Hassan Reddick on one of these trades, you tell me if you like or dislike this, and I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, Brian. What about this trade that PFF is suggesting? Hassan Reddick goes from the Eagles to the Texans. In return, they're getting a 24 second-round pick, number 59. He's got a one-year non-guaranteed contract at $15.5 million. To me, if I'm the Texans, I'm jumping all over this twice.
Yeah.
You're talking about a team that looked pretty damn good on defense this year, have a pretty great coach who's defensive-minded in D'Amico Ryans. Defensive Rookie of the Year in, what was the kid's name? I always mix him up with the Jets kid. It's not Will McDonald.
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson. Thank you. I'm going to have to start taking some of these memory pills. The Texans could look pretty dang good, much improved with a guy like Hassan Reddick plugging up that defensive front. You doing that deal?
Yeah, it's like the kind of upper middle class getting richer. And, yeah, I mean, if I'm the Texans, I'm doing that deal. I will say, listen, Hassan Reddick, great player, and you're putting him on a team that are basically, it's a bunch of upstarts to a certain degree. They're ahead on whatever plan the Texans had. They're ahead of schedule. And if they had the opportunity to add a veteran player like that to their squad, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. I don't know all their numbers, like their cap numbers and all that stuff. I don't know what that looks like. But for one season, for sure, and if that does happen, I got to get on the phone with Trent and be like, listen, this offensive line, you got to do something today because these boys are going to be trying to come after Trevor. See, that's how I look at these trades now. I'm like, how does this affect Trevor Lawrence or Travis Etienne moving the ball? How does that – and
everything's going through that lens, that filter for you.
Yeah, and this would negatively affect that greatly. So, if I'm a Houston Texans, front office or fan, I would want this to happen. But that is funny that he's like, I'm not looking for a trade. And Philly's like, you can go. That would be the only cause for my, pause for a second. Is this something like they know something or they get out from under a player a year before they really fall off? Is it something like that?
Well, to that point, Reddick wasn't as dominant in 23 as he's been in years past. His PFF pass rushing grade goes from 90 to 75.2 this past year. His win rate goes from 16.8% to 14.4%. And the pressure rate goes from 15.9% to 12.6%. But he's still a pretty effective edge rusher and a guy that the Texans could use in a division with a couple of quarterbacks. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
In a conference with quarterbacks like Mahomes and Herbert and whoever Vegas decides to throw out there on day one, and Burrow and Lamar and Josh Allen and Tua and whoever the Jets have to back up Aaron Rodgers.
And eventually you have to try to get Patrick Mahomes down. Eventually that's the end goal.
You could try, but normally guys only do that when he's picked up 10 yards on 3rd and 7.
Yeah, after he slid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
What about this trade? Justin Fields been talked about getting moved a lot. The Bears, it seems like, are going to take this pick. It was interesting because we thought they had told DJ Moore they were keeping his friend. At least that's what DJ Moore made it seem like. And then come to find out that the Bears, Ryan Poles, the general manager, has basically said we would need a historic, way bigger than what Carolina gave, a historic haul to walk away from the number 1 pick. It could be smoke. Could be draft day smoke. They could be chasing away the low ballers, the bargain basement guys. You know they're out there trying to get something for nothing. But it could be real. He could know what he's got in Caleb Williams, and he could want to do it. So Justin Fields, the trade suggested, is to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who it just came out that they're parting ways with Mitch Trubisky and going into the season with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and then maybe someone else. So the compensation that's suggested for Fields is a 2024 second-round pick, number 52 in the draft, and a 2025 fifth-round pick. And what they're picking up is Fields on his contract. He's got one more year at $3.25 million. That's fully guaranteed. And then that fifth-year option for 2025, whatever that's going to be worth. Wild to me, all this speculation that Justin Fields isn't going to get a first-round pick in a trade. I don't understand what universe people are living in that they think Justin Fields can be had for less than a first-round pick. Before the season started, Brian, they were talking about Justin Fields' possible MVP candidate. And sure, he had a rough start to the season. The Bears looked like a mess. It was gross. They couldn't move the ball. It was clunky. Fields was throwing picks right and left. It was ugly. But they got rid of Luke Getsy, that offensive coordinator. And then wouldn't you know it, suddenly Fields opened it up a bunch. He's playing backyard ball again. He's hitting DJ Moore constantly. Team actually looked pretty good. How you don't get a first-round pick for Justin Fields is pretty dizzying to me.
Yeah, I mean, if I were Chicago, I don't know if I would come off of Justin Fields. I get it. You only have one more year with him at his rookie deal, I guess. And then we know whatever money he's going to require, whatever else you're trying to put around him, it affects everything. I get that. And then if you're going and you're bringing in Caleb Williams, who a lot of people are high on, save for Merrill Hodge, you get to start that clock back over with the rookie QB contract, and that's going to allow you to really financially add pieces in other ways. I think that Justin Fields finally has some stability, and we saw that second half of the season for the Chicago Bears. As high as I was on Detroit, I'm super excited about what Chicago looked like, even though they ended up being 7-10. They let a couple of games go. They probably should have been 9-8. I followed them way too closely that I'm comfortable saying, actually covering the Jags. But Justin Fields is finally getting his legs under him because there's stability there for whatever reason. They got some pieces around him. It took a season or so to do that and get DJ Moore out there. The offensive line started gelling together. Defensively, they started becoming a better, more squad that was moving as one and being difficult for teams to score against. Chicago looks like they're finally trending in the right direction, and I get it. When you have a Caleb Williams who people think is going to be a generational talent, we hear that every year at this point now, every other year. How do you give that up? I don't know, but I feel like Justin Fields is in the same vein as a Lamar Jackson. Sounds a little crazy because Lamar is a 2-time MVP.
Yeah, accomplished way more.
And a Heisman Trophy winner, and he's got playoff wins, and I get it. The resume is way more extensive for Lamar Jackson. Skill set wise, now that he has stability, he's just as athletic, if not more so, which is crazy. If anybody can stay with Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position, it's Justin Fields. That's one. And passing wise, he had his best season ever, even with the slow start. It's tough for me to tell Chicago to not get off Justin Fields because of the contract situation. But if you let him go to Pittsburgh and you pick up Caleb Williams, cool. If I'm Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh, we got a problem.
Sure.
Because Justin Fields ain't coming to back up.
No.
Justin Fields, in my opinion, is a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett. And, I'll fight you tooth and nail on that. Call in if you want to. We can argue about it. And I think that would also be a good setup for Justin Fields because you got another stable organization that you can grow in, and you can allow this young QB to use his talents to get your team in position to win games as he grows and continues to become better.
Last trade I want to bring up before we go to break.
Yeah.
How about Davante Adams?
Sorry. I saw it.
Davante Adams to the Jets.
How you feel about that?
I would love it to happen.
I bet you would.
Clearly, right? Davante Adams could be 84 years old. Davante Adams could be Shaq, and I could be Ice Spice, and I'd be okay with it.
Pull this. Pause. Pull this, though.
Take it. Make it a promo. Do what you want.
Double pause.
It's fine.
Yeah, Ice Spice.
I'm there
for Davante.
Hey, look.
Ooh. It's nasty work, man.
We got similar shape. But I'll tell you this, man. Here's the trade compensation, and it's puny. It's tiny. It's almost non-existent. 2025 second-round pick. Jets love giving away second-round picks. They gave up like 4 of them for Aaron Rodgers. Davante Adams for a second-round pick is kind of a steal. I don't care what Davante Adams' age is. I don't care what his contract situation is. And by the way, 3 years, $90 million. But only 16.89 of that is guaranteed. It's not like you're on the hook. If Aaron Rodgers folds up his tent next year, you want to blow it up and start over. You can get rid of Davante Adams. It's not going to hurt you too much.
What kind of rookie-level AI is accepting these trades? A second-round pick for Davante Adams?
I will say, Stephon Diggs, I don't think got a first. I think he was a second or less. Yeah, like big-time wide receivers. Big-time wide receivers sometimes get traded for not first-round picks. I get that. Quarterbacks get traded for first-round picks.
But not just a second-round pick, right? Did I not hear the whole trade?
No, it's a 2025 second rounder. The real thing is that Vegas gets to take the money off the books. They get to take the money off the books and use it to rebuild the team. And then maybe, you use that 25 second rounder on a starter.
Maybe that was the whole plan the whole time. Davante, go get your money. I'm going to go and leave Green Bay myself and go to New York.
They tried to get him last year.
I'm going to get injured once they can't get you and rest up. That would be insane.
We can't get you, Davante, so I'm going to fake an Achilles injury. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, man, Davante Adams back with Aaron Rodgers in New York.
And Garrett Wilson. Don't forget you have a number one receiver there.
And Hall in the backfield.
Breece Hall, sure.
That would be, with that defense.
While we're at it, let's draft Brock Bowers in the 10 spot.
I don't know. I might have to backtrack on Shavarius Ward telling Sauce Gardner that the Jets are trash, man. Holy smokes.
It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Me and Brian Middleton will be back right after the break. If you want to join in on the fun, 904-362-9901. Find out more about us at ESPN.com, ESPN690.com.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy and cooler today, but a lot of sunshine. The afternoon high in the mid-60s. Chilly one tonight. It'll drop into the 30s inland to the 40s at the beaches. And a partly sunny to mostly sunny Wednesday. Afternoon highs around 65. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad.
Great job, buddy. He's a beauty.
Thanks for taking me fishing. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Now through Valentine's, with any purchase, get a dinner at Fogo de Chão. Find out more at Beard's Diamonds.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjax.com.
Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. This month, you can get 50% off a Connecticut K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
Calling all chocolate lovers. If you really want to make someone's heart pop with love on Valentine's Day, go to your local Peterbrook. They're taking pre-orders for chocolate-covered strawberries, so you don't want to wait. There are just so many ways to impress this year. They have new truffle flavors, a bouquet of chocolate roses, or their famous chocolate-covered popcorn in a heart-shaped box. Looking for a wow factor? Ask Peterbrook to hide that engagement ring in their large chocolate heart filled with popcorn. You'll thank me later. Go to peterbrook.com and find a shop near you. Get those hearts popping.
Hi, Tom Coughlin here. Can you imagine getting the news that your child has cancer? Each year, more than 15,000 kids across the U.S. are diagnosed with this disease. The Tom Coughlin J Fund's goal is to be there for these families so they can be there for their sick child. We offer assistance with household bills, financial coaching, and emotional support. We hope you will join us helping these families. We need you on our team. Give now at tcjfund.org.
Earth's Farm and Market, an initiative of the Clara White Mission, along with Chef Jeff Johnson, are hosting a Farm to Fork fundraising event celebrating the legacy of Southern cuisine, traditions, and agriculture. Come out February 25th for Table Roots Act 1, Soil to Soul, the start of a 4-part dinner series that will take you on a journey as we explore the roots of Black culinary history, arts, and agriculture. Get more information at clarawhitemission.org and click on Earth's Farm and Market Spring Events.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisor fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, thank you for your service.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to find out more.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-805-1723. 800-805-1723. That's 800-805-1723.
Third Eye Blind is bringing the 4th edition of their Summer Gods Tour with Yellow Card in Arizona to ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena on July 26th. And ESPN 690 has tickets to the show. Visit the contest page at ESPN690.com and register for your chance to win.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. Me and Brian Middleton with you guys up until 5. Just another half hour to go. We got a text from Casey during the break. Casey wanted to point out how dumb I am, how wrong I am. What did he tell you? He said Devontae was not Devontae.
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown was traded for a 1, deservedly so.
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs was traded for. I thought Diggs was traded for a 2nd, but I guess it was a 1st.
And Amari Cooper,
was a 5th.
Bag of chips.
Yeah, Amari Cooper got off. They got off easy with Amari, but I think Dallas was just trying to unload money at that point. Even so, Allen Robinson, maybe a shell of his former self, but certainly a starting caliber wide receiver. He and a 7th got traded for a 7th. That doesn't make much sense. So you're basically trading 7ths, and they're going, please take Allen Robinson as well. Elijah Moore got traded to the Browns for a 2nd-round pick, but it was Elijah Moore and a 3rd-round pick. So really, Elijah Moore was just kind of to help the draft pick there. Brandon Cooks, there's a wide receiver of value. Brandon Cooks and his $12.5 million contract went from Houston to Dallas, and it only cost him a 6th and a 5th.
Hey, Aaron Schachter, sorry to interrupt. Don't lose your point. Just want to let people know.
Breaking news? What do you got?
In case they didn't know, schools set to confirm participation in EA Sports College Football 25 on February 15th. It's a video game.
I know the game.
NCAA football.
Why is this a news item? Schools set to confirm their participation.
Yeah.
Does not every school participate?
I guess not. I don't
thought
know.
Just every school that was under the NCAA shield participated.
I thought it did, but maybe not. Either way, all I know is that some of us have been anticipating for a decade. We've been having to use nefarious means to update NCAA football.
Yeah.
And so
it sounds like they got their NIL stuff figured out.
Maybe.
I feel like that was the barrier.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, but yeah, that popped up on my phone.
All right.
I wanted to let the people know in case they thought they were nice on NCAA football. I'm going to be like, you probably trash. See me on the PlayStation or the Xbox.
Okay. Which one?
Either one.
You got both?
Either one. Let me know.
Living like that, Brian?
You let me know.
Producer money's that good.
Hey, man.
PlayStation and Xbox.
3.5 gigs, man. In the vending machine, man. You got to make it happen.
Are you on the? Are you online with it? Are you in the Game Pass or no?
No.
Just stick strictly with the discs.
Yeah.
All right. I was thinking about getting my son one of these systems because he's getting old enough to play video games.
I got your son, air quotes. It's going to be for your son. I like it, man. You should do it.
I do mobile gaming. Shout out to everyone who plays PUBG out there. If you want to play with me, come get it.
What's PUBG?
PUBG is like a shooter, but I play on mobile. I play on the phone.
Okay.
And you can tell when I'm the boomer in the group because I refer to it as video games. And all these kids on there are laughing at me. They're like, what's video games? Shut up, kid. Don't make fun of me. I'll marry your mom one day. Relax.
Yeah.
You took me off point. I just got to Calvin Ridley.
Oh,
How
yeah.
did we not mention Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, what's Calvin Ridley going for?
He was like a 3rd or a 2nd, depending on how much he played.
Yeah, okay. Well.
And that was like a top-flight wide receiver. Granted, he had been out of football. Chase Claypool went from the Steelers, I think, to the Dolphins for almost nothing. But before he did that, like a year before, he went from the Bears to the Dolphins. But before that, he went from the Steelers to the Bears. And that was significant. That was like a second-round pick. They turned that into Joey Porter Jr.
Oh.
That's a pretty good pick for Chase Claypool.
Yeah, man.
Kadarius Toney was supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver in Kansas City. He got traded for a 3rd, which was a conditional, and a 6th. Kadarius Toney, man, what a letdown. That guy didn't even play in the Super Bowl. He's out there freaking out on the sidelines.
Still get him a ring.
N'Keal Harry, not big enough. 7th round. I'm looking for bigger names. You got to go pretty far back to find the next one. Anyway you slice it. It's not often you're seeing wide receivers go for 1s unless they're top of the market.
Okay.
And while Devonta Adams was at one point, he's like top 10 now. A couple of guys have leapfrogged him. And he's 31 today. So he's going to be 32 before the end of next season. So there you go. That's why the reduced price maybe.
But maybe you appreciate the reduced price because the mock trade is to your New York Jets, and you're just like, hey, listen.
Fine.
Okay.
If that's the way you think it is, then
it's a second.
I'll allow you to believe that.
All right.
That's fine.
That would be exciting, though, to see that happen.
Brian, have you seen this story that was breaking? I guess it broke last night. Multiple students were hospitalized here locally after ingesting what's being called unknown gummy substance at Twin Lakes Middle School.
I had a sound effect I was going to play, but let's hold off until I hear the story.
Everyone's fine.
Okay, everybody
nobody
made
died.
It. All right,
Everyone made it. Everyone made it.
Okay.
And well, it's a serious topic.
A gummy-like substance?
I think we're okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
gummy-like substance. Several students from Twin Lakes Academy Middle School were taken to the hospital. Non-life-threatening injuries, really the point here, right? Non-life-threatening injuries, according to the JFRD. School officials say at least 6 students got sick from eating the gummies. Why do they say sick? Did they get sick or did they get far out? I mean, did they get sick or did they just start listening to the band Fish for the rest of the day? I don't think that's sick as much as it is spacey. Other dimensional.
So the kids, who snitched? Who do you think snitched? The 6
I think
kids?
the hospital snitched.
Oh, the hospital snitched.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, to your point, someone had to say, hey, nurse.
I'm sick.
I'm seeing goats melt through the walls. I realize that THC gummies, if that's what they took, don't make you hallucinate. But when you're a little kid, if you've never done it before, it's got to feel like the world is ending.
I didn't realize that THC gummies don't make you hallucinate. Tell me more about THC, Aaron Schachter.
Really? You're gonna sit here and pretend.
Tell me more, man.
Like you don't know that THC gummies don't make you hallucinate.
I didn't realize that you were the the authority on THC gummies.
Look,
tell me now. What else?
You call me what you want to call me, Brian.
I'm calling you
I'm
an
just
expert
telling you science
in
is
illicit
on
drugs.
Science is on my side.
Yeah.
Science.
Tell me
says
more. Where do you pick up?
Here's what you know. You will fall asleep before you hallucinate anything.
Okay.
Taking a THC gummy. That's what science will tell you.
So if you were the school nurse, you'd have been like, hey, man, tighten up. Get back to class.
I would have been like, hey, where'd you find those? I need to confiscate what are these, 5 gummies in your bag? Give me those 4 gummies right now. I'm taking these 3 gummies right to the principal's office. How dare you bring 2 gummies to Twin Lakes Middle School today? And then quickly run to get the Cheetos bag from the lunchroom. The principal sent out a communication to parents.
What did it say?
It said, we were made aware that a student was in possession of an unknown gummy substance and shared the items with other students in the class. Shout out to that kid, by the way, not being greedy. I mean, granted, it didn't end up good. They all went to the hospital, but at least he wasn't stingy about it. Now, if he's selling it, that's a different crime. But if he's being communal about it, at least you could say, hey, at least he's a nice kid. At least he's being taught, politeness and community. They're still unclear what kind of substance it is, or maybe they're not. Maybe they know now. We just haven't been told officially. I think everyone's pretty much assuming that this is a weed gummy thing.
Yeah.
They're so prevalent now. You find them everywhere. They're selling CBD gummies in the gas station, weed gummies at the dispensaries. You got parents in ridiculous numbers now with this in the house. They're just not protecting it. I don't know. It's a little bit different than the alcohol, right? Parents used to have like an alcohol cabinet or they'd keep it somewhere, but you always knew growing up you weren't supposed to touch it.
Did you touch it anyway? I mean, you done incriminated yourself with the other illicit drugs. You might as well get this off your chest, too. Did you touch the liquor cabinet?
I might have stolen some alcohol from the alcohol closet.
Wow. The alcohol closet?
I
you
mean,
said
it was a cabinet.
Drawer.
It was like a
closet.
It was, I don't know what to call it. It was like a glass stand-up thing that opened up, had shelves, and had some bottles in there. And so as a teenager, you take the vodka bottle and maybe you put some water in there, and then you know.
Yeah, man. A little vodka, a little THC. It's a party.
Oh, now you're mixing and matching.
It's a party out here.
Suddenly,
Schachter, man.
Who's the drug cartel member now?
We need your memoirs, man. I feel like from about 17 to the present, it's been a wild ride.
Apparently, the doctor said it could be dangerous because they can see hallucinations.
Is it because they're so small?
Well, like, tell me where you're getting those gummies, bro.
But is it because they're so small, like, it would be fine on me or you, but they're like 2 foot?
That might be a thing in terms of tolerance and how crazy you get, but like hallucinations, I think, are a different thing.
Gotcha.
Entirely. Like maybe they closed their eyes and saw shapes or something, but they're not seeing like magic carpets fly by or anything. I doubt that.
If this were your kid, are you mad? Are you finding a way to make a joke?
No,
okay.
I'm furious. And then some idiot is on the radio making jokes.
Yeah,
I am writing a strongly worded letter to the program director. No, I do not like you making fun of this at all. No, but it's not my kid, so I can laugh a little bit, right?
And no one died.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
That's really the point of the story. No harm, no foul. Sorry, Twin Lakes Middle. We ran out of bump music.
I didn't think you were going to catch it.
That's fine. Hey, it's the Aaron Schachter Show. We're coming back for one final segment. You got kids taking weed gummies? Let us know. 904-362-9901. Curious if they're seeing hallucinations. Maybe they're hallucinating Devonta Adams to the Jets for a second rounder. Won't know until we find out. We'll be back in a minute right here on ESPN 690.
Hold on to your hats, Jacksonville. The ultimate bull riding showdown is just around the corner. It's the U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville, and it's gonna be wild. Bullbucking mayhem is hitting VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena February 23rd and 24th. Get ready for 2 nights of nonstop adrenaline. U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville is unleashing the most electrifying 8 seconds in sports. The bulls are ready to buck. The riders ready to rumble. Are you? Tickets selling fast. Head to PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com and get your tickets today.
43 years.
That's more than 500 months.
And more than 15,000 days.
And it's also an anniversary that you can celebrate with American Window products.
Jacksonville's oldest locally owned replacement window and door company is celebrating 43 years in business by offering you up to $1,430 off your next window or door replacement.
Just schedule your free in-home estimate before March 31st.
Call 731-2247 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
American Window Products, the window professionals.
Calling all chocolate lovers. If you really want to make someone's heart pop with love on Valentine's Day, go to your local Peterbrook. They're taking pre-orders for chocolate-covered strawberries, so you don't want to wait. There are just so many ways to impress this year. They have new truffle flavors, a bouquet of chocolate roses, or their famous chocolate-covered popcorn in a heart-shaped box. Looking for a wow factor? Ask Peterbrook to hide that engagement ring in their large chocolate heart filled with popcorn. You'll thank me later. Go to peterbrook.com and find a shop near you. Get those hearts popping.
Pull. Put your team together for Operation New Uniform's Veterans Cup Clay Shoot on Friday, April 5th. This year's fundraiser will feature celebrity shooters, great food, prizes, and of course, bragging rights for the winners. Enjoy a day on the range and support Operation New Uniform's mission to empower transitioning service members, veterans, and military spouses find their new uniform in the business world. Go to onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org today.
The Beaches Green Market is a great place for families, friends, and pets to shop and eat local. Come to the Beaches Green Market this and every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Penman Park on Penman Road, just north of Beach Boulevard, for fresh local fruits and vegetables, plants, meats, eggs, baked goods, honey, wellness products, ready-to-eat snacks and drinks, and local artist craft goods. If you have an EBT card, stock up on free fruits and vegetables and edible plants. The Beaches Green Market, connecting people to better food. Go to diglocal.org to learn more.
You're pregnant. How far?
1 month, 2, no doctor yet. I can't afford it.
Protect yourself and your baby. The health department can help you out. Test for STDs.
I don't have diseases.
You don't know. You don't always have symptoms. STDs make you and your baby sick.
I don't want my baby sick.
No one cares more about your baby than you.
I'm calling my county health department.
A message from the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Have you seen your financial freedom wiped out by stock market volatility? It's Rich Jones. Consider investing in real estate funds from DLP Capital. Don Wenner is CEO and founder.
DLP Capital has provided our investors with consistent double-digit returns by investing in cash-flowing residential real estate. For more than a decade, we have had zero losses, little volatility, and have shot above our return targets in all of our investment funds. Plus, we offer monthly distributions and tax shelter opportunities.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial *invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Third Eye Blind is bringing the 4th edition of their Summer Gods Tour with Yellow Card in Arizona to ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena on July 26th.
I wish you would step back from that.
And ESPN 690 has tickets to the show. Visit the contest page at ESPN690.com and register for your chance to win.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. Me and Brian Middleton with you for another 10-ish or so minutes. Brian, we were talking a little bit about these kids who got their hand on some gummies, ended up in the going to the hospital for hallucinations and all kinds of stuff. But there are drugs out there that purposely make you hallucinate.
Oh, really?
Aaron Rodgers, very familiar with one of them, ayahuasca. I've never had the pleasure of taking ayahuasca. I hear it's miserable. I hear you spend most of the time sweating and crying and vomiting. Doesn't sound like a fun time. But it's also supposed to like deconstruct your ego and like reroute some of the firing that's happening in your neurons. There's been a lot of research behind it. Aaron Rodgers said he ended up taking it to reset, to clear his head, to come into the season anew after considering retirement. Remember, he went into the darkness retreat. He exited that retreat. He claimed at 90% retired. Apparently, the ayahuasca didn't fully convince him to stay retired because he ended up going to the Jets, tearing that Achilles, and having a not-so-fun year. But he got paid a ton of money to do it. Then I found out yet another player has gone the Aaron Rodgers route. Did you know this? Another player has come forward and said he has now taken ayahuasca for what he's calling medicinal reasons.
Who is this?
Jordan Poyer on the Bills. Great player. Jordan Poyer, safety, has had struggles, years-long struggles, with alcoholism. And folks say, and when I say folks, I'm talking mostly about the shamans who apply the ayahuasca, but folks say that ayahuasca can actually help with addiction issues, not just alcoholism. Any addiction. I guess the claim here is that it rewires the way the neurons are firing in your brain, and that does something to alleviate the dependence on whatever the substance or the addictive thing is. Sometimes it's not a substance, Brian. You could be addicted to that PS5, that Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just firing off all this dopamine in your brain. Sugar, a substance, but not a drug. You could be addicted to that. You could be addicted to naughty time. Oh, you know that? I see that smirk on your face. Is that one of your addictions, Brian?
Oh, you were talking about me. Nah, I was about to ask you, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I think you
What
know,
exactly
Brian.
do you mean by naughty time, though?
I think you know, Brian.
Is that Ashwagandha time? What you got? Ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha. That sounds like what you do with paper when you fold it up.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this pretty ashwagandha that I made?
I'm just saying, Aaron, naughty time, huh?
Naughty time. You could be addicted to it.
Could be, I guess.
But if you take ayahuasca, apparently it goes away or gets better. But Jordan Poyer, to get through his struggles with alcoholism and depression, which, by the way, some people feel is caused by alcoholism. Some people feel the alcoholism is caused by the depression. This hand or that hand really doesn't matter, right? Both of them stink. Apparently, some people think the ayahuasca can help. So 32 years old, Jordan Poyer decided to go on this journey following the 2022 season. And they asked him what it felt like. Listen to this description, Brian.
Okay.
At first, what it felt like was my soul left my body for a good 2 minutes. Where are you going for the 2 minutes,
That's
by
what
the way?
I'm saying.
Where are you going?
What you got to do?
Like, are you taking a view? Are you looking at the room? Are you leaving the room? Are you like, hey, as long as you're here, I'm going to go check out what's going on outside? Like, what is
You
that
got it
feel
in
like?
here, man. You take care of inside. I got outside. I got you.
He goes, people try to control it, but you can't. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes just to figure that out. And I hear that because I am someone who likes to be in control of a situation. And when I'm not, I start to do some weird things to feel like I'm in control of a situation. So I get the feeling he's describing there. He said the ego has to go die so the medicine can work. This is where it gets a little fuzzy for me.
Yeah, it's too much.
Because now you're using words that don't really mean anything. What does it mean when the ego dies? Like, how do you even know? I guess he's going to tell me you just feel it. Right? Maybe that's what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems like you would have to know what that is, though. The ego has to die so the medicine could work. In order to let go and let the medicine do what it's supposed to, you just got to breathe. I feel that. That's like panic attack advice.
This is too much. This is too much.
It's intense. It's intended to be intense.
You know what happened to the regular old drugs? Huh? The regular
This
old.
is one of the oldest, Brian. This is from the Mayans and the Incans.
Nah, I'm talking about the regular drugs that just get you locked up for like 15 years.
Like weed gummies.
You know?
No, man, this is like ancient drugs. These drugs have been around way longer than you have been.
Ah, okay. It's too much. I don't, it's turning me off. It's turning me off at this point. I'm just like, yeah, okay. Take it and then, shut up about it,
He said his experience with ayahuasca helped him get back on the right path. His marriage is in a much better place. He's also a key leader in Buffalo.
Oh, well.
Because he was addicted to naughty time, he said. That's where it came from, Brian.
Hold on. Naughty time with
other people. Sometimes you're addicted to it by yourself. But in this case.
Really?
In this case, it was with other people, he said.
Okay. But he's in a better place overall.
A much better place. He says his marriage is much
personally.
better. His time on the field is much better. I'm a key leader in Buffalo, he says, both on the field and off the field. My life has changed forever.
So what will it take for Aaron Schachter to do some personal research with Ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha research has already been done. I just don't have the money to go to where it's at. I would try on like a little journey.
Oh, you got to go there and only get it from one place in the world?
Like, maybe they do it here, but all these
They
guys
don't Amazon ship that to you or something like that?
No, literally all these guys are going to the Amazon. They're not getting it from Amazon.
It's too much.
They're going to the Amazon.
I don't want my life to work that well, to do all that. Fly to the Amazon.
Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere where I got to
Soul
battle
leaving.
tiger mosquitoes to do this wonder drug.
To throw up and my soul is
Leaving your
internally
body.
sweet. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Can you please just get that on Amazon for me, huh?
Hey, we've arrived at the end of the show today, and before we go, I do want to play a fun game I used to play on Brent and Friends back when that was happening. The game is called What Did We Learn? So you got a couple of minutes if you want to join in with us, 904-362-9901. The question, Brian, is what did we learn on the show today? And I'll start if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I learned that gummies make little kids hallucinate.
Oh?
I did not know that before today's show.
I learned that Aaron hates dating his wife. I did not know that.
I love my wife.
They seem like a lovely couple.
I love my wife.
Well, you do. Aaron loves his wife, but he hates dating her.
I just don't like going on dates. I learned that Brian's okay with dating someone who's 10 years old.
That's wild.
No, I'm just saying because you were fine with Shaq at 51 trying to date Ice Spice at 24. So you're at 34, 24-year difference.
I thought you were going to say 10 years older.
No, 10-year-old. That's what the age difference is.
16 years older. I learned that Aaron Schachter would be Ice Spice for Devontae Adams. Take that how you want. I still don't really know when he said that, and I was like, ugh.
That's a good place to close it right there.
Yeah.
This is the Aaron Schachter Show. I'm Ice Spice. That's Brian Middleton. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. right here on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging out.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. This month, you can get 50% off a Connecticut K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
The Bulls are back in town and taking over Jacksonville. Get ready for bull bucking mayhem at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville is bringing the city 2 nights of bull riding action, featuring the most electric 8 seconds in sports. Come see the toughest sport on dirt at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off and interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-803-5505 to speak to an expert. That's 800-803-5505.
Credit for everyone. 500 vehicles in one location, 30-day exchange program. If you want it all, get it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Right now, just $500 down and only $288 a month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and only $388 a month. Plus, Arlington's Credit for Everyone program and 30-day exchange program. Don't wait. Save thousands and shop arlingtontoyota.com today. Terms and conditions apply. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/offers for details.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Hey, chocolate lovers, make someone's heart pop with love on Valentine's Day. Show your love with a bouquet of chocolate roses, chocolate-covered popcorn, or a box of decadent truffles. Peterbrook is also taking pre-orders for chocolate-covered strawberries. So get those orders in and get those hearts popping.
I'm Christine Lisi. Edge rusher Hassan Reddick dismissed a report that he requested a trade from Philadelphia. On X, Reddick posted he never asked for a trade but does understand it's a business and is preparing for what's next. He would like to get an extension done with the Eagles. Reddick is entering the final year of his current contract. NBA crew chief Ed Malloy admitted the foul call on the Knicks' Jalen Brunson late in last night's game was wrong. He said the contact after the release of the ball was incidental, marginal to the three-point shot attempt by Houston's Aaron Holiday.